Hey guys, Dylan here, and today we are doing another Sonic Off the Press. This article is written by Jack Grimes, and it is called Sonic the Hedgehog is the leftist role model we need. Dismantling industrial capitalism is way past cool. And yes, this article is real. This is not a shitpost. This was made in 2018. Our world is in crisis. Every year, millions of tons of greenhouse gas pollutions, poison, and smoke are pumped into our oceans, soil, and atmosphere. Scientists predict that unless we radically change our system of global production within the next few years, the Earth will become uninhabitable in the next 100. Whose fault is this? A deadly cocktail of overconsumption, profit-driven global capitalism, because it always has to be capitalism. Capitalism is the evil to every story. And a sprawling, unchecked industrial system is mostly to blame, but sure, quit using straws if you want to, because I guess that's a jab at California. Now, one thing I have to point out is people have said that Eggman is a capitalist. Eggman is not a capitalist. Eggman is a dictator. Eggman does not want you to buy a product from him. The only game to which Eggman could be considered a capitalist would be the Sonic Riders games, because in the Sonic Riders games, he actually provides a product and even capitalizes on said product. Just because he gathers oil does not mean that he's a capitalist unless he's selling said oil, which we've never seen proof of. Just because he runs casinos doesn't mean he's a capitalist. He has amusement parks and casinos and shit because he's a giant child. It's a way of him having fun by himself. He doesn't invite anybody who would spend money to these locations. He invites Sonic the Hedgehog to go there, who just breaks his shit. If he's a capitalist, he's doing a very bad job at being one because he isn't making any money. Capitalism is quite literally ripping the planet apart. Every government is ripping the planet apart. You can't pretend like that a communist society didn't pollute any more than a fucking capitalist one. That's fucking bullshit. There were still production plants in communist countries. There are still. China is communist, and they create so much fucking pollution. They're one of the top leading polluters. That is ridiculous to say that it is because of capitalism. Quite literally ripping the planet apart and selling it to us in pieces. In these drastic times, an increasing number of radicals are turning to drastic measures, engaging in fighting the expansion of predatory capitalism in the real physical world, where you have the power to confront it. From pipeline protests at Standing Rock to occupying Exxon offices, sabotaging construction equipment, direct climate action is becoming an increasingly powerful weapon in the hands of angry and rightfully scared lower class. This kind of direct physical resistance, which some people call terrorism, is the only functional and short-term workable way to save our fragile world from the blind, thrashing greed of industrial capitalism. Has nothing to do with Sonic. Who then is going to lead us in this new era of climate radicalism? So, the leader that you need in the real world to help you solve a real world problem is a cartoon hedgehog from the 1990s who did PSAs telling kids not to hop in washing machines. This is your hero? That's really sad. We need someone with applicable experience and an understanding of anti-capitalist organizing. That is not Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog has never once fought capitalism. He fought Eggman, who's trying to take over the world and sometimes turn everyone into robots. If everyone is robots, they can't spend money, which would mean that he's not a capitalist. Someone who's recognizable, outspoken, fast and blue, so they want to steal Sonic the Hedgehog. They want to co-op something, just like with Star Wars, just like with every other thing, She-Ra, I could keep naming over and over again, where they fucking take something over and make it lame. Sonic the Hedgehog, at its he's a hedgehog and he's a guy. Core, a game about radical climate action. Not really. Not content to try voting away the destruction. So this is straight up telling you that the system in place is not working. That you can't vote away something. You can't fucking rely on the electoral system. Give up on democracy and resort to radical terrorism. That's what this is telling you to do. And Robotnik never gave you the chance to vote. Robotnik is a world dictator. He won't give you the chance to vote. And he's not a fucking capitalist. Capitalist means Sonic takes to occupation and sabotage. He doesn't stay home and buy more efficient cars and start recycling. That's because Eggman never gave you the option. He wants to kill you and everyone you know and take over the world and make it uninhabitable. That is his end goal. He is not trying to turn a profit or trying to help his industry expand so he can give money to his kids. He is someone who wants to destroy everything because he's a cartoon villain. The oil oceans and chemical plants of the world. Oh, so now you're making video game comparisons? Hubs of environmental exploitation are just sitting around chugging out smog when we arrive. They're vulnerable to anyone who's willing to put... If you sabotage these plants, you're going to cause more environmental harm than if they were shut down properly. Like, you're gonna make that... the whole fucking area uninhabitable because you decided to sabotage it rather than protest against it and get it shut down efficiently. What if you did that to a nuclear power plant? What if you did that to a plant that needed to be functioning? What if you did that to a dam? You could cause unknown destruction because you didn't care. Destruction only by the idea that we shouldn't cross the fence or turn this valve. Sonic's brand of industrial sabotage isn't a destructive action. Yes, it is, but he's a cartoon character, so it doesn't matter. It's a protective action. That's bullshit. He liberates the animals trapped by the construction of capitalist oppression. No, he frees animals that were put in a fucking cartoon robot. Your allegory doesn't work. Represented by somewhat ham-fisted, but still effectively by a big metal cage. Go fuck yourself. And every time these animals simply scatter, having learned nothing from their brush with death at the hands of industrialism, these animals represent the center, the people who most at risk by the conscious of danger looming over them. These animals are the right-wing poor, the social liberals, and the capitalist apologists. Oh no. Sonic, and to similar extent Knuckles and Tails, who I would have loved to have seen roped into this somehow, are the radicals that will save us. They're on the ground thrashing equipment, freeing the oppressed. Actually, they've never once destroyed any of the chemical plants or any of the fucking casino zones. They just leave it there. They free the fucking animals from the robots, beat the shit out of Eggman, and then walk away. They never once fucking, like, turned everything back to normal. And slowly choking to the rightful death of the mean bean. They never even killed him. They let him get away with it so many times, and he keeps causing worse things to happen. So that was the article. Sonic the Hedgehog is the leftist role model we need. It yet again pushes the fake fucking story of Eggman being a capitalist. It tries to indoctrinate people into liking leftist belief systems by equating it to Sonic the Hedgehog. I say that Sonic the Hedgehog doesn't need to be political. It isn't political, and it shouldn't be co-opted by political parties. I think that when you see this shit, you should laugh at it, point out how it's wrong, and then move on with your day. There are groups online who want Sonic the Hedgehog to become political. I would say that you chastise these people and don't accept it. Because when it comes to cancel culture or the culture wars, it is engulfing everything. And if it engulfs Sonic the Hedgehog, there's going to be a whole lot of shit. There's going to be a whole lot of shit coming from that. So hopefully it doesn't happen, and hopefully you guys like this video. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you really like it, share it. And if you want to see more, then subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and bye.